Firstly, team news ahead of your final game, game 22 of the season, league game.
Yeah, everybody's fit and available, apart from LE Brazil, obviously. But yeah, all okay, all good.
Imagine the perfect game, Hope, to finish. Is it a home match and something to really play for, a chance to finish in the top half again?
You've asked me this, you've said this to me on the last two games. I'm hoping that this time it's third time lucky. Look, it's been a long season, I think, for everybody. So it's nice the fact that we're at home, hopefully in front of a large crowd. Everybody just can try and enjoy it, enjoy the occasion, and then we look forward to a bit of a break, and then the sort of the planning's already started for next season.
Because there will be some emotion. You've hinted that some players might be moving on, but it's about focusing for the 90 minutes, isn't it? Trying to finish sixth and then all of that.
Yeah, it is hard because, as you know, players speak, players talk. I've had, some conversations. Nothing's been confirmed, but you kind of tease players up. So all of that is happening in the background. Some players are a little bit tetchy. Some players are very, very tired. And that shows. I think it showed certainly in the last couple of games as well that it has been a long season. But as you said, there's still one very, very important game to go, and we want to make a good account of ourselves at our last game at home.
No game is easy. You always say you're at home to Everton. West Ham must host Arsenal, going for the title. I suppose you'd probably rather be in your position, would you be?
Yeah, I'd rather be playing at this point Everton than playing Man City and experiencing what we experienced last weekend, which was very some lows and highs, and the league is challenging. So I think the game will be challenging. I think if you look at Everton player for player, actually they're very good. They're probably really underperformed. We know that, given what's gone on in the club, the third manager coming in one season, so something wrong there. But they definitely have underperformed. They did well against Tottenham, who some would argue are having a really good season, so we know it's going to be a tough game. And as I said, every game is quite a challenge, actually.
You mentioned last week, you could, I think, make it 9 WSL wins, which you haven't done before, more goals scored, less conceded, loads of records, but it's just, you think of perhaps those two results, as you say, against Man City, it feels a bit like that was perhaps results from the past. You were hoping you had buried that sort of thing, hadn't you?
Yeah, but I actually just, I think it just highlights there is still quite a gap and still a hell of a lot of work to do. We had a choice last weekend to I felt it was really important to see really where we're at, rather than just kind of sit back and defend for our lives, which is what we've had to do against Chelsea, Man City before. It's quite hard. So I wanted, let's see where we're at. And I think in the first 15 minutes it really showed where we were at. Naive, lacked quality, gave the ball away so readily, and every time Man City got the ball they actually looked like they were going to score. But what I was, amongst all of that, feeling like this is going to be a long afternoon after 15 minutes, then suddenly we find a little bit of ourselves and we score 2 goals, and we're firmly back in it. It was just a crazy moment, and we went the other end and we should have equalised at 3. Their goalkeeper pulls off a good save. We were firmly in it, and then they just switched gears, and it really highlighted that actually the gap is still very, very big, very big. So yeah, it's been disappointing. Birmingham, you could say 6 points 3 points lost. We performed well attacking, not so well defensively. So it's just like lots of work to be done.
I was actually going to finish with Birmingham. You mentioned they've gone down, one of the founder members, weren't they, of the WSL FA Cup finalists, I think, 5 years ago. But they have got the lowest playing budget. They've had protests at the issues regarding their facilities and resources. So there's obviously issues there. It's a cautionary tale, I would imagine, and a nice comparison with how things are good on that front at the Albion.
Yeah, but I think you have to remember, if you look at it, the league is tough, you know, and I say next year is going to be harder because clubs are investing more and more. Better players want to play in our league, you know. Sometimes who's got the most money will get the best players. You have the best players, you have the best chance of winning. That is an absolute fact. You know, Birmingham beat Arsenal, but yet Birmingham are going down. You know, you've just got to take every opportunity. And I think credit to Birmingham, actually, they really gave it a fight towards the end. And just, you know, you don't get enough points on the board, you will be relegated.
Hope, thank you for today. Thank you for the season.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Well done.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tim. Juliet.
Hi, Hope. Good to see you.
Hi, Juliet.
Hi. Talking of fights, it is a bit of a dogfight to the very end in this league, isn't it? We saw that with Birmingham, as you mentioned to Tim. We've seen it with Everton versus Tottenham at the weekend, 2-2. Everything they both threw everything at that game to pick up a point. Do you expect it to be very similar this weekend?
Oh, absolutely. And I think with Everton, you know, I can't remember his name. Their new manager has been over, I think, most weekends watching the games. He's been over, flying backwards and forwards, I believe. So those players are, I would say, they want to showcase their capabilities to ensure that, you know, they're part of his planning for the future, I'm sure. If that was me as a player, that's what I'm doing. So for them, I think, yeah, they'll want to come and prove a point. We beat them last time. I think, you know, people wouldn't have expected that, given the investment and the money that they've spent and the players they have. So we recognise this is going to be tough. And we've really got to be on it, on our game, and to get something out of it. So, you know, it's the last game. We can throw everything at it. I want the players to enjoy it. You know, this morning I said one last push. You know, we are tired, you know, a bit niggly, a bit crabby with each other. I think that's everybody, long season. But you just hope that on Sunday they recognise it's a real opportunity.
And important, I guess, to pick up those 3 points, potentially move up to 6th and finish the season on a high. Mentally, that must be really something for the players to try and finish that last game on a high.
Yeah, you know, we try and finish every game on a high. Unfortunately, that is really tough. But yes, they want to play. They want to make a good account of themselves. You know, for some of them, it will be their last game in a Brighton shirt. They know that. You know, we want players to perform. We want to finish higher than we did last year in terms of points. You know, and I think 6 would be a decent finish, you know, for the second year. You know, and if we don't, you know, 7th, you know, it isn't. 7th is not bad, but our ambitions is such we want to keep looking up.
Result aside from the weekend, Julia Sijotti scored a decent goal. She scored also against Birmingham. That must be pleasing for you to see a relatively new player to your squad to come up with a couple of decent goals towards the end of the season.
Yeah, she's a decent player. I think she's got so much more in her. So when she first came, you know, and I didn't play her straight away. I think she had to bed in. She's quite a young player, but plays with mature shoulders. She was disappointed she wasn't starting. I just said to her, you have got to be patient. I think young players today are all about now. You know, that instant gratification that I find myself having to manage more and more, but that's part of the job. But she's really stepped up, and I really believe she can do so much better and will be really influential for Brighton in the future.
Just a couple of wider questions from me. The strategy that we talked about last week at the press conference, I know that the ball is already rolling on that, but, you know, there does want to be a quick development, doesn't there? This aim for reaching the top 4. In your opinion, what would be your priority in terms of looking to next season of that strategy to start implementing now?
Well, some of the strategy we've been implementing it a while. You know, the things like, you know, how are we going to recruit? Who are we going to recruit? I think the foundation at this club has been laid very, very well. Looking ahead, you know, nobody's saying you write a strategy, you wave a magic wand, and then you're going to get what you want the following year. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We recognise if we are to have some short gain wins, I guess we've got to recruit better players in positions where we can. So at the moment there's a big recruitment drive. Obviously, close of the season, we've got to have those difficult conversations. But it is about we've got the infrastructure. I think we've got that. Things we want more of. You know, want to develop the homegrown talent. We want those young players to come through. There's loads of things on the peripheral that we're doing that we want to do better. But it is about, you know, we need players that can compete against top 4 players. It's as simple as that. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay.
That's good. And just finally from me, I know you've got some very special guests coming on Sunday. The founder members of Brighton Women, the Brighton GPO team, as they were back then in the 60s and 70s.
I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me.
I was chatting to Eileen Bourne this morning and Julie Hemsley, who both say...
is Julie coming? Okay.
Yeah, they both say hello. And I just wanted to ask you how much of that early work that they did of really pushing to get women's football seen, how much of that work that they did to get the women's game out there, how much did that lay the foundations for the modern game today?
Yeah, it's probably not spoken enough about, not enough plaudits around those early pioneers, but it's very obvious to me anyway, because I'm always banging on about the game didn't just start yesterday. You know, some people have done some fantastic work to get the game where it is today, you know, and for people who are present and in it today, I think we are very, very lucky. So my hat goes off to them. You know, I know Julie Hemsley very well. I know some of the early pioneers before the FA. It was the Women's Football Association. I know those people that ran it, and I think they deserve probably more plaudits than they get, because without the work that they did, none of what I do and others like me and players, none of it would be possible. This would not be happening. So, you know, we probably need to tell their stories a bit more.